It's day 8 of our 30-day New Year to Love You challenge. Can you believe that we are already a week into our challenge? I am so surprised that we are already this far along in our 30 days of New Year to Love You challenge. If you are brand new here, my name is Kait, and I am all about creating Pilates, yoga, mindful movement classes that really help to cater to you, to help you feel a little stronger, a little more confident in our body, and certainly a little happier when we jump on and off our mat with me. Now, as I mentioned, this is obviously day 8 of our challenge. I like to think of all of my classes and all of my challenges really as sort of a choose your own adventure. If you want to do all of it, that's wonderful. If you want to do a little bit, that's okay too. There is no judgment from me either way. Now, today is our Manifest Monday, and last week we focused on the things that we wanted to celebrate about last year, even though it was kind of a crazy year. It's good to think about those wonderful positive things that happen in our life, to give ourselves acknowledgement and, a mental or a literal pat on the back when we do notice ourselves finding these fabulous, amazing habits. Now, we can't notice those kind of positive moments without acknowledging the struggles that came with the year too. And I'm guessing many of us have plenty that we could talk about in 2020. But this week in our journal, if you've already downloaded it, you've already seen. If you haven't downloaded the journal and you want that to go along with, the link will still be in the description below. Or you can just, follow along in the video and use this as your own journaling prompt. But this week, I wanted to focus on the struggles of 2020, the things that were challenging, the things that didn't necessarily work in our life during that year. But, and it's a big but, we have to acknowledge what we learned from it. I don't want us to just focus on, the bad things without seeing, there were some positive moments for it. There were things that I learned. I found another way to do it. Or I realized, this goal is just, it's not attainable at the moment, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with trying something and realizing, I'm not going to meditate every single day. I've told myself that, my personal self, that many times, that a goal of mine is to meditate 5 minutes every single day. And you know what? Right now in my life, that is not going to happen. And I've decided to give myself grace in that moment, that I've got other things that I can do. I can find other mindful habits. Again, why I love journaling so much is it is also a mindful moment for me, just as much as meditation is. So whether or not you've got the journal and you want to physically write that out, or you have your own beautiful journal that you want to use that as a prompt and decorate and everything, if I've not mentioned this, I own tons of little journals that people have either given me or I've bought for myself, and they are just too pretty for me to write in, or I like to keep them as inspiration for later. And you can do that with the journal that I've made too. You don't have to physically write everything in it. You could just as easily keep it, on your computer, in your desk somewhere, and just use it as inspiration for now or later, and instead have your own nice little journal you like to decorate. That's what I do with mine. I have lots of little journals all over the place for all sorts of different things. Anyway, today is really all about taking that time to, say to ourselves, I noticed these things that I wanted to do, that I couldn't do, or that I learned from. But it is that big caveat right there. What I learned from the struggles, from what didn't work, from, what I need to do in my life. So as you, sit down to either physically write this out or, type it out, you don't have to have an actual journal like I do. I actually have a mix of both physical journals and an online kind of a thing. I use the Notions app to kind of use as my planner and to, do stuff. But I like having a physical journal as well to actually write things down. It's part of my kind of morning rituals. I get my coffee, I get my journal out, I doodle around a little bit, and it's a nice way for me to start off my day. But if you are using my printable journal, or your beautiful, lovely journal you've got at home, or a digital one online, I just want you to spend a couple of moments to think about this. And this should not take you a long time. In fact, I would prefer you not take more than maybe 15 minutes to think about what was problematic in this year. And then once you kind of write out those things that maybe were challenging or cause a little bit of struggle or even cause a little bit of stress in your life, take that time to then think about what you learned from it. And you know what? Maybe you didn't learn anything from it until this moment, until you acknowledge, it's really stressful for me to try and keep plants alive, so I'm not going to do that anymore. Buy some fake plants. It's okay. You don't have to stress out about the fact that, you can't water them every single day. There's lots of ways to learn something from, a moment of strife in your life. It doesn't have to be this, great big thing that you had a revelation about 6 months ago. It can be something that you acknowledge was challenging, was hard, was difficult. And then right now in this moment, you're like, this is what I learned from this, and this is how I want to move forward with it. I can make positive changes in my life in this small incremental way. This is actually why I included the habit tracker in the journal. If you haven't printed it out, if you haven't checked that out, there is a section that I talk about building habits and kind of tracking them in your little journal. Again, whether that's the physical journal or your own one. I find for myself, it's a lot easier and more manageable if each month I choose a couple of things I want to work on, big or small. Maybe it's something as easy as, waking up consistently at the same time every morning, or drinking enough water, or flossing, or it could be something bigger, and that's fine too. But rather than beating myself up that I make this New Year's resolution that I'm going to floss every single day of, 2021, I take it a month at a time and I realize, oh, I hit that goal or I didn't hit that goal. If I didn't hit the goal, why didn't I hit it? Why didn't I make those changes? And what can I do to make it a little bit easier on myself? And then we don't have to beat ourselves up constantly that we didn't keep a New Year's resolution for an entire year. I am much more about small incremental changes, seeing how we can easily build those habits. We can easily add mindful moments to our life to, see what our body needs, what our mind needs. And I think habit trackers are a really nice way. And the same way that, taking this time to acknowledge those struggles, those challenges from 2020 and what we can do to progress in 2021, what we can do to make those little hardships a little bit easier, where we can relieve some of that tension, that stress that we've put on ourselves. So I hope you find that kind of nice, kind of easy. As I mentioned last Monday, each Monday we will have a little meditation. Last Monday's really did go along with the journaling prompt. Today's is a separate meditation, just a short and sweet little guy for us. Again, you're welcome to do it. You don't have to. Maybe you just want to spend today's mindful moment of your life doing that little journaling prompt for yourself, and that would be great too. It's all about doing what works for you, taking some time to, give yourself credit for everything you happen to be excited about each and every day. Anywho, let's go ahead and move on to our quick little meditation today. Find an easy, comfortable position that you can be still in. Seated or reclined, maybe all wrapped up in a blanket, or with your back against a wall for support. Just anywhere that you can give yourself permission to find stillness for the next few moments. Allow your eyes to shut. Feel your jaw relax. Let any tension from your neck, your shoulders, melt away. Take a cool breath in. Warm sigh out. And bring your attention down to your low belly. And feel or imagine a small, warm, glowing ball sitting right in front of your belly button. Imagine that warm, glowing ball filled with light, with love, with total contentment. And follow that little warm ball as it travels down the front of your body, around and underneath your sitting bones. And follow that warm, glowing ball as it travels down, underneath, and around your pelvis, and slowly begins to climb up your spine. Feel it moving up the back, across the neck, around the top of the head, to your third eye center. Sitting there right between your eyebrows, it pauses for just a moment. And then it falls down the front of your face, across your throat, down the chest, all the way back to your belly button. This little warm, glowing ball will continue to orbit your torso. And notice that it begins to match with your breath. As you inhale, it travels underneath the tailbone, up the back of the spine, around the head, to the space between your eyebrows. As you exhale, it falls down the face, across the throat and chest, all the way back to its starting place. And as that little, warm, beautifully glowing ball circles your body, feel those feelings of warmth, of love, of contentment fill your body, your mind. Just focus on those feelings, creating a sense of peace, of stillness, of calm in your own mind. Know that in moments of stress or tension, you can always call back to this calming little breath work. An easy little circular movement around your body, and hopefully allow that feeling of contentment to calm, to ease any sensation of stress, of tension that might be present. Take one more big inhale right here. Exhale, that little warm ball falls back to your belly and pauses. Begin to blink the eyes open, to circle the shoulders, to nod the head. As always, give yourself a pat on the back, thanking yourself for doing something so good and just for you. And even though I said this meditation wasn't necessarily in line with our journal prompt today, obviously this is one of my favorite little breathwork meditation things that I do to help calm myself when I do have those moments of stress, of discomfort. Moments where I feel a little more challenged than I want to be. Pausing, breathing, concentrating on creating a feeling of lightheartedness, of ease inside my body, inside my mind, can really make a huge difference in how the rest of my day progresses. So, as you think about those things that are challenging from last year, if somehow we do get a sense of discomfort from even writing them down, perhaps repeat that little orbiting breath inside your own body, and maybe you can find those feelings of tranquility, of ease, and just that kind of smooth feeling that our meditation can create. It was lovely to see you today. I can't wait to see you tomorrow.